first. My name is Kenneth Bird. My company is Black Series Edition, LLC. Let me turn my music down here a minute. Yeah, all right. So, yeah, yesterday, like I said, from time to time, we have to expose these two individuals who literally call themselves being professional in the field of screen paint products. Number one, they don't even go back that far. They have no history attached to them whatsoever. And it's been the same products as far as I look back on them. At the end of the day, I've done my research on them. They've been just making the same products. They make nothing different at all, period. But that's not the point here. The point is the fact that are not legit. They're not real. They're just as fake as these 4K 1080p projectors that's supposed to have like 50,000 lumens and all that other crazy stuff. They're just as fake as that. What they have to understand is that at the end of the day, I don't do memes. I don't lie in the day. Well, people do lie, but I mean, when I'm saying something to somebody, I'm sure enough well going to back it up 100%. You can guarantee that it's going to be backed up before I start speaking it. This is the reason why we have this information on these individuals, because this is their own doing. This is their own stuff that they do every single day that they get caught in, and we catch it. And later on, they realize what they've done, and they try to delete or get rid of evidence, but too late. We already have it. We already have it there to expose them for what they are. Things that we show about them are things that they actually do on a day-to-day basis. And it's endless. It's literally endless on what they do. This individual right here, upon checking his logo, doesn't belong to him. Name doesn't belong to him. There is multiple images in that account that do not belong to him. Not only that, he can't open up the site. I told you he can't open his site up if he can't do it. If I sit there and tell you that his product's being made by 4 different screen paints, you know, it's videos right there. People have watched it and they said, look, he just said it right there. Then they turn around and says he doesn't say it. That's a person that's just lying right in front of your face. You said something about how the website couldn't be open, this, that, and the other. Come on, man, that's the biggest lie. I mean, you kind of treat people like they were born yesterday, like people are stuck under rocks. First things first, a website, it's the beautiful thing about having a website beyond brick and mortar. Brick and mortar, again, gets a lot of bills and utilities. And on top of that, brick and mortar, sometimes, you know, they close. You know, we do have seen some that open 24/7, but it's costly. But still, they do close. A website doesn't have to close. A website can be open 24/7, all day, all night. You just have a time when you process your orders. You don't have to process them right there and then. You can process them at a certain date. So you have a certain time you process your orders and the customer can read through. That's called shipping and handling. That's what it's called on the site. So that's why the shipping and handling policy is very important, because it gives the customer an understanding that when he's going in to see when the order is going to be processed, when it's going to be shipped out, if there are delays. This is why I explained to over and over about Jamie's shipping policy is absolutely nightmarish, because again, there's nothing in there. There's nothing about delayed orders. There's nothing about snail mail policies. There's nothing in there at all. Basically just designed to take from the customer, period. And you guys had this out here. How can you argue and say at the end of the day that, oh, we're not scammers, we're not this, that, and the other, when the evidence is right there? Part A, you made a comment about how you couldn't open up your site because of this, that, and the other. I told you why you couldn't open your site. Your product literally costs too much money to make. There is no way in the world you're going to be making under the mark that you sell your product for 4 different color screen paints. It's not going to happen at all, period. Especially in 48 ounces, it's going to be expensive. It costs me more money to ship it out. For you to come on camera and say, I never said this and never said that. Well, the video is right there showing what you said. I'm not going to go over the video because I don't have the time today. But the video says right there. I told you, every time we come in here, it's going to say the same thing. Sold out. He can't open the site. He sat there and said it was a lie. He could open the site. He only does on certain days. Me and my people and associates have been in here for a solid month, back and forth, seeing when it opens, because I want to get the product. I want them to buy the product, ship it to me so we can do some tests on it. One of the tests that we found that he mentioned about the product basically evaporating, that the minute that the water, consuming a large amount of water that's put into his paint, is there to act as a delivery system to keep the product from drying out. Well, buddy, here's the problem you have with that one too. Even if that were so, that's a lot of water in there. That means the customer's paying $160 for half of a 48-ounce container. That's what they're getting, because half of that is water. So how much paint does a customer actually buy, and how much water are they getting? Can you answer that question at the end of the day? And no, we cannot. So either way, it's a bad thing. I want to get it over here because I want to pop that top, drain all the water out of it, stick top right back on it, seal it up nice and tight, and then see if this stuff turns into baby powder the next day. Because he said it'll evaporate. I'm curious to see if this is actually true. Now, the problem is you have here, Danny, you talk too much nonsense on camera. You have to back all this up now. Everything you said, you have to back it up, because guess what? Now someone's going to get your product. Not only me, there's a bunch of people going to get your product, and they're going to run it through the ringer. You make constant claims that it's not paint. It is paint. That is actually paint right there. I don't know where you get off thinking that people are too dumb to see that that's not paint. It's paint with a lot of water. Anyone has ever painted, anyone's ever added water into the paint to make it stretch a little bit because you didn't want to feel like going out and spending the money for a gallon, and you figured this would definitely work, knows what that looks like. They know the texture already from the door. You can't talk like people were born yesterday. Bubble system releasing oxygen, another lie. Again, the bubbles are there because that is the water trying to basically marry with the paint and can't do it. Multiple applications needed. Multiple applications are needed due to the fact that the first video you lied about some kind of optical building system when that one clearly matched the wall in the theater room, so much for that theory. The other one, basically, you say is a building system, all the same color. That doesn't make any sense at all. Why would you paint a screen 4 times the exact same color? And then you claim that if you paint it a fifth, it makes the screen slightly brighter. That doesn't even make any sense when all of them look exactly the same in your second video, but you try to use that to say that we lied. Oh, it's right there over the top. The reason why he can't remove that video, because that video is the real video. That's the real video based off his website. If you take the time and read through the freaking, it's a bit of an interesting site. You will find out that all of it comes down to the first video. That's why the first video, you look at the timestamp, was there first. If it wasn't the one you have now, we are mixing that one container with all that water, that would have been the first video by timestamp. You guys don't think when you'll do stuff. Don't think. There's a whole lot of things wrong. Specification sheets are actually bonkers. In specification sheets, you have 2 different versions of game. I've never ever seen that ever. That's the same scenario of people saying the projector could be 4K and 1080p, or the one company that said that the projector was 2400 lumens, but if you hit it with an ambient light rejection screen, it becomes 36. That's that category of nonsense. What else do we have here on this site? It's unbelievable. We can't, the ultra short throw really don't care about at the end of the day, because again, that is your product at the end of the day. But don't compare yourself to me, because my black screens pull up on ultra short throws, and again, yours don't. I don't know where you get that from, where your product is supposed to be far better. Judging by what I've seen on your black paint was never ever tested. I looked, I searched for white on white test, black versus black test. I searched for anything that came close to our test demonstrations. I couldn't pick up anything at all. And if alone a customer even had the screen, couldn't find anything. Your white levels on your screen are absolutely horrible. No screen, especially outside, should come up looking that dark. I can even make out the city background. It's supposed to be nice and bright back there, not dark and dingy. Your white levels are coming up blue. It's definitely blue. Usually when a product comes up blue, when we do testing, that is a mixture, and we already know what it is. That's a mixture of flat black paint and a couple of tablespoons of white paint. There is no way in the world that those few tablespoons or whatever you put in there is going to be able to overpower that black. It's not going to happen. So you're going to come up getting a kind of a really bluish kind of texture or look to the screen. Man, I don't know where to go with the rest of this at the end of the day. Again, all your pictures are, I can't say all of them, but majority of your pictures are fake and don't belong to you at all, period. My cat's freaking out at somebody at the window. This nonsense right here. Can't get your product. Nobody can get your product because your product is always closed. What you fussing for? Yeah, calm down. Doing too much. So, your product is never available. And like I said, we know why it's not available. Number one, you're afraid of one of us buying it and testing it out, or somebody else testing it out, or, as I said before in the first theory, it costs too much money to make. Also, too, you have on the site that your product paints up to 120-inch screen out of 48 ounces, but yet you have measurements for or paint on applications for a 150-inch screen. Question: what container does the 150-inch screen comes in if this paints up to 120? I hope you understand what that means when you say paint up to. That means the container will max out at a 120-inch screen. That's what that means. So if it maxes out at a 120-inch screen at 48 ounces, how much do you need to actually paint a 150-inch? That you didn't put there either. Right here on your site, where you have about Parte, the gymnasium picture is fake. It's just not you at all, period. You just put your name here, but that's not you at all, period. We did this, we blew this picture up, we searched around in it, we couldn't find anywhere, number one, that you can install a projection screen, which would be virtually impossible in here. But also, too, we noticed that these are monitors. These are not screens. You have your products nowhere near in this video. We blew it up. We searched right through. There's nothing there. So this is a fake image right here to begin with. That's not even yours. She was Louise. So this one, you don't have to worry about too much of falling into this sand trap because, again, he can't open his site anyway. His site's never open. As a matter of fact, we gave him a bit of a challenge for the month of March to see if he can have his website open for at least 1 month. At least 1 month. He's not going to be able to do it. I guarantee you that one. Interesting if he does or not. And even if he does, guess what? It's going to cost him money because now what's going to happen is people are going to get that product and they're going to figure out exactly what happened to the other 3 containers because there's a bit of confusion on the site. He has 2 different forms of instructional videos. One showing him using 1 container, painting a screen 4 times, which again, that's a headache. And then another one showing 4 different colors in screen paint. So that's going to confuse the customers on if they end up with only 1 container, they're going to be a little upset. And then if they only end up with, I'm going to say, if they only end up with 4 containers, no containers, actually 1 container, not the other 3, they're going to be upset because you have 2 instructional videos on your site. Doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make any common sense at all whatsoever. Let's leave this site. Like I said, never open. And again, I can't express this enough. You don't own the rights to this name, not yours, and you don't own this, not yours. Real quick, let's go over to the applications just for a minute. I don't like to talk about things and not back it up. You know what I mean? We've gone through this. I've read through this. I know your site better than you know your own site. Even in your instructional videos, you made multiple mistakes. You said you're supposed to do a 2-inch line, you had a 3-inch line. I told you that's virtually impossible. There's no way in the world that the customer is going to be able to pour a line approximately 3 inches. That is not going to happen. That's virtually impossible. It's paint. The minute that stuff hits the surface, it's going to expand all over the place. Even you displayed in your video demonstrations, even yourself couldn't complete that task. So this is bogus. This is a bunch of nonsense. I don't know why he has this here. Some people will add a ton of extra fluff to their instructions in order to make their product seem like it's more than it's not. You know why I know about this? Because right around the time when Goose Screen, when they had their very interesting instructions, a lot of people wanted to be like Goose Screen. So there are people all over ABS forums. Now, Danny, this was before you ever existed on YouTube. You don't know anything about Mississippi Man and all those other fellows. And you sure enough don't know about Sonic Chill because he was in that around that time when they were doing some of that stuff. So you don't know anything about, I don't know how you would even know Sonic Chill to begin with. You weren't even on YouTube doing any demonstrations when Sonic Chill was around. So I don't know why you even have him there. But anyway, in the demonstration, you've seen a lot of people trying to do what Goose Screen was doing. Goose Screen was requiring multiple applications, and the wall had to be sanded down perfectly fine because if you had any imperfections on a surface, this would show through the screen. And you had tons of people on AVS forums just showing multiple pictures of doing massive sand jobs on the wall, you know, spending hours and hours of sanding the walls to make them perfectly smooth. And that's what it was all about. Everybody was trying to do what Goose Screen was doing. So people were coming up with all different kinds of really extremely complicated instructions. On the more complicated the instructions, the more advanced the product seemed to be. That's what it was back then, you know, until we came on AVS forums with digital and crystal screen paint. We didn't even sand the wall down. I have a demonstration right there. We painted right over the wall and that was it. That's how we got banned from ABS forums. For those of you who are making comments about that, you weren't even there. You weren't even around when that happened. Do you know how many years that was back when that happened? I found that kind of funny. We had a few people coming to me, oh, I know. How would you know? You weren't there. You didn't even exist when we were on ABS forums. That was under digital and crystal screen paint. This is when we first started. So how would you know? You weren't there. Jamie wasn't there. Partey wasn't there. Anyone who put their hat in the ring wasn't there. So how would you have known of what went on? See, that's what I'm talking about. Open your mouth up when you don't know things at the end of the day. We got banned from ABS forums, and it's actually because due to the fact that they didn't like the fact that a lot of people were on there, big hit arrogance on ABS forums, talking about how you had to sand the wall down and this has to be done. And every forum site was pretty much about goose screen. And they were all talking about how you have to do multiple applications and you have to do this and you have to do that. And we came and said, oh, no, you don't. We can paint the wall and roll over top of it and display our product. That's how our company lifted off the map. That's how we got noticed, because at that particular time, everybody was doing the goose screen and they were doing the multiple applications and they were doing the constant sanding and all that stuff. And we came on there and we painted the screen with one application. That's how we got noticed. That's how I ended up getting a contract, a global contract, which is something, again, even with the great products you guys have now, you didn't get that recognition. We did. We got that recognition because our products were far more advanced at that particular time. And it's funny because the stuff that you guys call being advanced is the same stuff we used to make 10 years ago or 12 years ago, I think it is. So that's why when I watch your demonstrations, I automatically know when the screen washes out like that, we know exactly what's in it and we know exactly what it is, because we've done those tests many years back. But this product right here, this whole line across the screen, this is just fluffing it. That's all it is, to make it seem that it's something more than it isn't. It's just fluffing it. You don't need to do this. And then you've seen in the demonstration, we poured the screen, the paint down several times. Did he get a perfect approximate 3-inch wide line? No, he did not. So this is fluff. Now, all this is based off his first demonstration. Let me show you something real quick here. Right here we have, let me come down here a bit. You will see an application for a 150-inch screen. You just said that your product maxes out at 120-inch screen at 48 ounces. So what size container will 150-inch comes in? This is what happens when you don't do any research and you're constantly just throwing stuff on your website that you have no idea what you're doing. We've been on Jamie's site. Jamie's site is a bit of a nightmare in there. And we've been to his site. There's no information, there's no shipping information, there's nothing really in the site whatsoever. So this is what it's based off. It's based off this video, which is the first video. There we go. That's what it's based off, the first video. This right here is just something he made to try to say that, cover up his lies. Because again, yeah, it shows in here 4 colors and all that other nonsense. This is the other video from the first one that he did that actually matched the wall in the theater room. Now, this guy, as I said before, does not pose as a threat to the industry, as in giving people products that work, due to the fact that he can't open up his website. He can never open his website up, not ever. So he's not a threat at all. He was never a threat to begin with, even if his site could open, because I've seen the products. The products are absolutely horrible. All right, let's go over to this one right here. Now, this is a fellow who literally got caught in a YouTube, did a video where basically he was trying to put his product against network grade 773. Mind you, we did this demonstration 6 months to a year ago, and we told him it was going to happen. It was going to match. But he did it. And the reason why he did it, because his customers had to pressure him to do the demonstration because he didn't want to do it. We gave him multiple chances to do this test. He wouldn't do it. So we did it for him, and the product ended up matching. Not only was he given the task to do the network grade 773, but he was also given the task to do the slip silver, micro blend slip silver, which he refused to do because the micro blend slip silver would have been more damaging because it's a product that you can buy directly off Amazon, and it's like about $17 or $18 a quart. It's extremely cheap. So, in this demonstration, this fellow by the name of Jamie, this is another person that should not be selling screen paints in the industry, decides to do a demonstration next to Network Gray 773, titled in this video. The problem we have here is that he never did any testing on his product. And because he never did any testing on his product, he was brimming with confidence, and he swore up and down that his product was going to be able to overtake the Network Gray. And it didn't do that. He ended up matching the product. Now, when he matched the product, knowing that he matched the product, he has to keep in mind he also removed the videos also too because he knew it was guilty. Did he remove the product off the website? No, he didn't. He still sells the same product you're seeing here that match house paint. He still sells on the product. He still goes on YouTube. He still advertises these Cinemax as if it never even happened, but it did happen, and it's right here. So that right there, right from the door, shows that you're a liar and a thief. How do you get up on YouTube and advertise a product that you know darn well this video does exist? Just because you removed it off your account doesn't mean that it's not there. It is there. We have it right here in front of us. As a matter of fact, there's a couple of YouTubers who came in and dubbed these videos off our account, which we don't mind. Knock yourself out. And went in and basically put them on blast for it. Why are you selling that product on your site? Even worse, the product under the Metallica Mix 2.0 is a free product. It's a product he used to give away for free many years back when he used to give out products for free. That's what he used to do. That product should never be on the website. He tried to get rid of that video too. Guess who has a copy of it? We do. The Bear Silver Screen. Walked out of a Home Depot with a container of Bear Silver Screen for the personal mix. Ended up matching that one too. Tried to delete that video. Guess who got a copy of it? We do. This is why we dub his videos, because he's known for doing this kind of dirty stuff. He gets caught, tries to hide the evidence, and guess what? We have copies of all your stuff. I got videos that we had made copies of, one of them where he claimed that his product was could pull a contrast level, and he was in a fully lit environment. He deliberately darkened the environment, put lights in the environment, and tried to make it look like his screen was operating in a fully lit environment. Found out that he had a 4x8 piece of wood blocking, laying across the sofa, across an area he had it at, because the environment, we can clearly see light coming around the windows. We can see light coming through the peephole. We can see light coming around the back of the windows, showing it was probably around 12 o'clock in the afternoon at least. The sad thing about it is he had a 4x8 piece of wood blocking any light that may have peeked under the curtains or the blinds and would have struck the bottom half of his screen. That's why he had the board there. His environments are, even in this video, it's daytime outside. His environment is literally so dark that those lights can illuminate around his screen. So here he is explaining about how he is going to conquer Network Gray 773, how we are liars at the end of the day, how we don't know what we're talking about. And again, I can't express this enough. Jamie, I was making your products before you ever existed on YouTube. You want to check my timestamps on how far I go back? I guarantee you. So I know your product. I know exactly what it is. The sad thing about it is how you sell your product. So he misleads a lot of customers. He tries to make customers believe that his products can pull a 100% contrast level equal to a black screen. That's one of the claims he made about the Cinemax. Cinemax could pull a 100% contrast level. And this is a person who's using a projector with a 2,000,000 to 1 contrast in the dark, trying to make statements like this. Black screens can pull up that exact same image in a fully lit environment with no problem. The customer who sat there with the 200-inch screen, where his screen completely washed out from one end to the next, the screen was fully washed out. Jamie seemed to be very upset by that demonstration. He came in and started ranting and showed the whole video. Doesn't make a difference. We did show the whole video. We did show the whole video from front to back. And in that video, clearly, the only way that screen could operate somewhat correctly is it had to be in a dark environment on a 3500 lumen 4K projector. It didn't work. It wouldn't pull up. So what you're showing people at the end of the day, if you're showing people a window, open doors, and you're trying to give off the illusion that your product works, then the problem we have here is that you're lying to them. If your product is not ambient light rejection, you shouldn't be showing any windows and doors. You shouldn't even be trying to compete against technology that is ambient light rejection. You see how well lit that environment looks right now? Have you ever seen demonstrations in those well lit environments? They wash out automatically from the door. He didn't even do the demonstration. That's another thing that was brought up too. Look how well lit the environment is. In order for him to paint that screen and to work, that's how well lit his environment has to be. How come when he did the demonstration, he didn't do the demonstration in the same well lit environment? The environment went dark. Those are a lot of things people were picking out when they were analyzing this video on the forum site. See, this is stuff he does from day to day. But like I said, you didn't remove it off the site. You didn't issue an apology to your customers for what happened here. And you didn't do any returns or refunds. Under your policy, under your website, if a customer opens up a container, or even if the container lands on the property, he or she will not get a refund or an exchange, which you clearly have on your website. Can't call me a liar on there, it's right there. And you can't remove it because I guarantee that people are already beating on your door about your products not working and matching house paint. You know, there's the product right there. And this is what I find interesting. His product is slightly a little darker, doesn't change effect. It still blends into the screen with no problem. Now they get mad over this. He comes in and goes, "Oh, forget it. Stop talking. You don't want to talk about this. You need to talk about this." You know why, Jamie? Because you have this product still being sold on your website. That's why it needs to be talked to. That's why it needs to be put out there. Because you are still selling this product as if it never even happened. And again, keep in mind, this individual made this video. So basically, he can try to back his product up. So why are you upset over a video that you made? Again, no one came in your house, no one put a gun to your head, no one forced you to make the video. You willingly made this video. So why are you so upset when everybody shows it off? Because you're a scammer, you're fake, you're a liar. And you have the exact same product right on your website right now. If you go and tell people, well, that's a different product, then show us. We would love to see this. Because keep in mind, because you were caught doing this kind of nonsense, this means anytime you make a new product, you're going to have to compare it from now on to Network Grade 773. Every single time. That's what you're going to have to do because you got caught doing this. Now, also, too, another couple of few bit disturbing facts on the product there. As I said before, we were able to make a majority of his products with the how do-it-yourself screen paint products, which he shows you how to make under the Metallica Mix 2.0. Not only did that match the Metallica Mix 2.0, but we were able to make several different forms of screen paint. We were able to make the Personal Mix, we were able to make the Cinemax, and some other mixes we were able to make out of the same exact ingredients. And this is Jamie showing you how to make the product for free. Is there anything wrong with him showing you how to make the product for free? No, it isn't. By trying to sell a product that you were giving away for free, there's something wrong with that. You can't do that. But he does it anyway. Website's not professional. Like I said at the end of the day, I would love to meet the customers who basically slid a credit card through that website. Because gee whiz Louise, seriously. I read through that website multiple times. It's caveman language in there. How in the world did you get an intellectual, intelligent thought to go in and go, gee, this sounds logical, and then go in and slide a credit card through that freaking fiasco of a freaking site to begin with? Clearly shows he does not care. When people don't take the time out to design a good site, and it doesn't take much at all, period. We always go overboard because, well, we're not overboard, we should go overboard because there's so much information that we need to advertise for our products. We like to go over and beyond. But he just didn't put any effort into the site. Nothing at all. I mean, Partey's site is based off lies. Yes, I'm sorry, not Partey, Danny. Danny's site is based off lies. Yes, it is. A lot of lies. Danny can't back up any of his products at all, period. He just can't back it up. And he can't even keep the site open. But at least his site is well structured. And it's lies, but it's well structured. Jamie, on your site literally looks like a 5-year-old did that site. And I mean, basically, that site is a mess because, again, he could go in the spelling checker, there's programs, he can ask somebody to help him. There's so many ways he can go about to make that site better. Why doesn't he do it? Because, again, doesn't care. It actually shows in his products. Testing for both you gentlemen. I can't find any testing under your products. On your website, there are no test demonstrations on anything at all, period. Danny, on your site, I don't see one customer. At least Jamie has customers on his site. I don't see one customer on your site showing off your products. Couldn't find anything in customer reviews, not one thing. We couldn't find a thing. Jamie, your customers all sit in the dark, just like your product. The only person we saw try to use that screen in a fully lit environment, and I mean a real fully lit environment, not something that you coach them into doing, because those demonstrations are coached, which means you told them what to do and how to do it to display it. But either way, at the end of the day, you all look the same. You're all sitting in the dark. Meanwhile, I got customers with a $300 Epson projector that can produce an image outside with no problem whatsoever. You get what you paid for at the end. That's what it comes down to. But the one customer who did, and thank you so much to that customer, hats off to you, fantastic job, showed your product off. When he pulled that curtain back and that screen washed out, there is no way in the world on a 4K projector that should have ever happened. Shouldn't have happened on a 720p. Your product is not 4K ready. It really isn't. He was probably expecting to walk from his backyard into that environment and see that 200-inch screen pull up from corner to corner like a TV. He didn't even get that. He got a complete washout. Pretty shame. And that's the personal mix. Now, where did the personal mix go to? Well, it disappeared. It was replaced by the 2.0. When you go into the site, you will notice that if you click on the 2.0 and you look over top in the search bar area, you will notice it will not say at the end of the day, personal mix, it will say something completely different because he had to change it out. Personal mix was getting a lot of heat. When products start getting a lot of heat, Jamie makes them go bye-bye. The Frankenstein mix. Oh, gee whiz. First is ambient light rejection, now it's not ambient light rejection. It's ambient light rejection, it's not ambient light rejection. We noticed the videos with the Frankenstein went missing. We can't find one of them, but don't worry, we have copies. Oh, man. So basically at 143 in that video, basically Jamie claims the product to be ambient light rejection, but on the container that we purchased from him with the Frankenstein logo attached, Frankenstein name attached to it, which again, not yours. He has to pay royalties for that one. For that little incident right there, using someone's copyrighted or trademark name without their permission, you got to pay for that. You owe the money. In that one, we have it on the side of the container. It says, "Hey, Kenny," with my name attached to it. I told you about doing freaking customized signature labels. They get you in a lot of trouble, especially if you do something really stupid. At the end of the day, it shows it came from you. We even have it time stamped on the side of it. That's what we sent over to our Universal Studios, by the way, who basically owns that particular part of Frankenstein. We got in contact with their legal department. But anyway, with that being said, yeah, they want us to bear receipts and all this stuff. They want to make sure everything was legit. We wrote everything over to show that, yeah, we legitimately bought this stuff from this particular individual and he's making money off your name. He didn't pay you. Did he have permission to do this? And the guy said, we don't even know who this fellow is. You're in trouble again. And that's why you don't do dumb stuff like that. But anyway, let's get back to this. So the Frankenstein mix is a scam. It's a huge, massive scam. Number one, we have one containing the post office fraud due to the fact that he changed out the color of the product at the very last minute. It doesn't show a lot of confidence in your product. One of the other ones we found, which is disturbing, the ambient light rejection. That video went back 5 years ago. 5 years ago, it's ambient light rejection. Now it's not ambient light rejection. It's nothing to do with ambient light rejection. The problem you have with that is anytime you have a product that dark, it should be ambient light rejection. It should have that capability. Darker screens have a better chance of pulling up ambient light rejection, working with ambient light rejection technology than lighter screens. A much better chance. So with that being said, the fact that you changed it out like that is because, again, you don't want people taking that product and putting it in real ambient light in your screen, washing out, because in the demonstration we saw you doing testing, trying to do testing under ambient light, you were cutting corners left and right. Sticking a 2x2 painted screen in a box. Literally had a roof over top of it. It was like inside of a little box. That's what it was. As a matter of fact, we got the full video right there. We can show it to you. But inside of a little box, that's not doing an anti-rejection screen at all, period. So you fake the demonstration. So now you have it marked as not. Now let me tell you something about interesting about that. We had the only video from this fellow that the title says ambient light rejection. He went into his YouTube account, took a video 5 years back, and altered the title of it to not. We also had that on recording too. To not ambient light rejection. How would that help you to change the title? You do know at 143, you clearly state that it is. How does that work? So those videos are now missing. They got rid of all of them. It's like I said, constantly getting busted, constantly getting caught. You see in this demonstration with the hand movement, see that? In this demonstration, he's doing this. This is what you're seeing. If you were watching that video, you were seeing this come up on the camera. Through the entire video, Jamie tries to hide that little sheet in the middle, which is actually the network grade 773. Now that's the reason why we leave the mic open. We leave the mic open so they can come into the room and you can see how they carry themselves. Coming in the room, cursing and carrying on, emojis. We warned you ahead of time what's going to happen. Carrying on, acting up. This is how they react. Jamie yesterday asked him several questions about things he wrote on his website. Asked him a simple question: why is Frankenstein? It says on your page, it says that you can't use it inside. What happens if we use it inside for the home? You put it there. Why? And we asked him this, and we were met with emojis, altered pictures, stuff like that. That's not professional. You wrote it. You can't tell me what you wrote. That's because you guys make it up as you go along. Just like Partey. I'm sorry, I can't call him Partey. Danny, my fault. Partey belongs to somebody else. Danny, at the end of the day, can't explain anything he talked about in his videos at all. Nothing at all. He can't. He doesn't have any way to explain it at all, period. Because again, he made it up as he goes along. Now, you took the time to make these videos, which you did, and why would you remove something if you had confidence in it to begin with? We even watched the video go bye-bye right there in the middle of a live stream because we asked them to put videos onto the website. And if you have all this confidence in your product works 100%, you would have no problem with posting the video directly to your website so everybody can see it. Where's the videos at? Anybody see the videos on the website? Anybody? No. Because again, he wants this video to disappear forever. Was Jamie respectful enough to his customers to issue an apology? No. Any refunds? Any exchanges? No. Did he remove the product off the website? Did he do that? No. He didn't remove it off, did he? He's still selling it to this day, right on his site. Because you know why? You don't care. As long as you got your money at the end of the day, you don't care. And this is what you're dealing with. You know, it's funny, out of all the other people that I've seen who sell screen paints on eBay and other places, no one does it like these two. I've read through the specification sheets, and they're honest and upfront with their products. Actually, I even bought a couple of them. I bought them over here, and they were actually very nice. These guys are the only ones that lie. If you're going to put their products through the test, they will basically commit post office fraud. And we got products over here, but this fellow was so terrified to send us the product. He sent us black paint. He was scared. And lost every single PayPal claim, every single one in the process. Even the one he filed against us a couple of times, he lost every last one of them. See that hand right there, constantly in front of that. Anytime you do a demonstration, you're not supposed to be anywhere near the screen you're doing the comparison with. You're not supposed to be in that shot anywhere. You're supposed to stand to the side. That right there, constantly throwing his hand in front of the screen. That shows a sign right from the door that he messed up. Constantly standing up in front of the camera, constantly taking your hand and trying to wipe away dirt that doesn't exist on the camera. There's one point in the video that he messed with the camera so much, literally, it fell off the stand and hit the ground. Walked out of the room a couple of times. I walk out of rooms from time to time, but come back in. But in this situation, not when I'm doing a comparison, I'm not walking out of a room, because that means if I walk out of a room in the middle of a comparison, that means I'm hiding something. And I always make sure that the demonstration's done. I always told you in demonstrations, you hear me talking about other things, hey, popcorn machine, chicken gun, which I have no idea what that is. And that's brand new, because I'm done. The demonstration's done. I'm finished. I move on. I'm talking about other stuff. Going on there, we showed our demonstration of white levels, we showed our color levels, contrast, all that. It's funny in this demonstration, have you seen any solid color levels? Nope. Any star field demonstrations, heavy contrast levels? Nothing. He stuck to nice bright levels, because usually this is where they actually will be able to perform a little better. Only problem is network grade 773 is a bit of a beast. We tested it. We had it over there. And keep in mind, this is even more funnier. And I hate this is it. Yeah, it's funny. We had the incident that happened with the black paint. Jamie sent us black paint. One of his customers saw that demonstration, was really disgusted on how Jamie did his business there. At the end of the day, I don't care who it is. A transaction is a transaction. You treat everybody as if they're your customers, no matter what. That's how it's done. And the guy didn't like what Jamie did in the video, so he sent us his paint instead. And I thought that was pretty cool. And when the product got here, we unboxed, we opened it up. Jamie got upset. It didn't come, it came in the box. Everything sealed. And Jamie went into this huge freaking rant. I wonder if we can find that video. Went into this huge freaking rant on YouTube. And he said, oh, that's fake. They made the labels. That's not real. That's not my product. This, that, and the other one. To this huge, massive rant. I said, it is your product. We got it from a customer. So we put it against the network grade 773, and it matched. Not only did that match, the personal match, and the Metallica 2.0 match. 3 of your screen paints matched network grade 773. Not one, 3 of them. Why didn't he do the test on the other 2? You notice that? He only stopped at the Cinemax. He didn't do the other ones because he knew automatically from the door we were right. But anyway, I'm pretty sure off camera, after he did the demonstration here, he tested the product and he found that they matched too. That's why you didn't see any videos on those particular 2 products. But getting back to the Cinemax. So anyway, we did the test and matched the Cinemax. Jamie goes to rant and says it's not his product, it's not this, it's not that, the labels are incorrect, blah, 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 to turn around 6 months to a year later and match the paint. With the exact same labels he's advertising right now that the customer had on his container that we received. So, riddle me this, Jamie, at the end of the day. How is it that you came in there and did all that caring, crying, fussing and complaining about how the paint we received from the customer was false, that it wasn't real, that your product does not match network grade 773, to have your product match so well the network grade 773 that in the middle of the demonstration you start taking objects and blocking the sample sheet that you just painted against your screen? That's what he's doing right now. This is a story he talks about when he says his landlord had him paint 8 units. We actually have that in live recording, but he painted 8 units for 2 hours, which we find kind of interesting. But yeah, and the entire time he blocked the screen as much as possible. I also find it interesting that the screen behind you, which is showing the LG, that's the bookcase with the kind of that reflective kind of the items that shows the reflection coming off onto the bookcase. We noticed that that screen washed out. Your screen, your Cinemax washed out. It also washed out along with the sample sheet of network grade 773. Your hoodie you're wearing right now is producing a better red than what your projector is producing in the back, and that's a 4K laser projector. Now, as you're watching this, let's talk about the stealing images. Pretty bad when you steal images. Now, if your person has, like, doing demonstrations on a 720p projector All right, it's still not a good excuse to do it. But this guy had a 4K laser projector. Anytime you got to steal images to make your product look good, and you're in the possession of a 4K laser projector, and you still have to steal images, that tells you your product doesn't work at all. It That's another red flag right there for you. What are we going back there for? We just came from there. We're trying to go back over there. I got things to do. There we go. Let's go back where he was showing off items in front of the screen. See how washed out? That is really super washed out. That's a 4K laser projector. Are you kidding me? It looks exactly like the customer. Oh, we got to take a picture of this. We need to take a picture of this and a picture of the customer screen, do a side by side and display that on the forum site, because that is so washed out. It's not even funny. Your hoodie is literally brighter than this right here. That is really bad. And then the network gray, of course, washed out. This is all washed out. Look at the contrast of it. The contrast of it is completely ashed. That is super washed out. Your hat is literally blacker here than here. Your hoodie is redder here than here. I think he was so into, at one point, was just so much going on for him. He was so into just trying to block this image right here. He didn't realize that his screen was washing out right there in front of everybody. And keep in mind that environment is not that well lit. We got lights generating that are illuminated behind the back of the screen with no problem. So that environment is pretty dark, and you're washing out that bad. That is absolutely horrible. Now, we got one demonstration to do next, Jamie, and what we're going to do, bottom line, is explain that your products do not work on 4K. They don't. 4K with the lights out, yeah, I would say to a certain degree. As long as you don't have any, heavy certified or gunmetal technology sitting up there, because, again, I advise you from the door that, if you're going to be doing 4K or 1080p projectors, go to any forum site, ask from yourself, hey, what screen is the best? They're going to tell you darker the screen, the better. Ask Google if you want. Google will tell you what's better. Blacker screens are more superior. So doing your 4K projectors on a gray screen is a bad idea. You can't pick up contrast, you can't pick up colors, and this is why you're told in demonstrations to calibrate. Look at the background. Just ignore this right here. Look at the background. Look how badly that's washed out. That's not supposed to look like that. Do we have, I want that exact image over here on my screen. I want to do it on a gray screen. I'm not going to do it on a black screen. Oh, my goodness. That's absolutely horrible. Did we not, at the end of the day, do our work correctly at all, period? I'll take this Sony detail on page 30. I use that. As a matter of fact, I'm just showing on a black screen, showing how our technology is more superior. We'll use our black technology right here. It's a shame because some people look at that and they think, oh, but that's how it's supposed to look. I know the freak it doesn't on a 4K projector. Heck no. It's supposed to never look like that. What are you people accepting? If it's going to look that bad on a 4K projector, why the freak did you just spend the money for that? You could have just went out and got yourself a 720p. What about, the clarity? Can you see the clarity in that? Any? No, you can't. That's pretty bad. And that's a short throw, ultra short throw, which means it's sitting right on top of the screen, less than a foot away from the screen at 3,000 lumens, and it can't pick up. Where's the contrast? That projector has a 2 million to 1 contrast. Where is it? This is why we explain to you, those of you who have 4K projectors, and you want to talk about you want the best picture for your investment, well, you hit that on a gray screen, guess what? You're not even going to pick it up. You're not even going to get it. Not going to happen. You can't even get an image at 4K. Get from underneath there. Come on. Chop. You don't have to spin it like that. So you got to have it pull my cables out. That's why you can't get them like that. You got a bad habit. You can't underneath there. I'll tell you one thing. I freaking love those freaking gym mats so freaking much. I love them. My new house, yeah, I'm gonna do some hard wooden floors in there, but majority of the house is gonna be those gym mats. Those things are so comfortable to walk on, it's not even funny. I love those things so much. One time you can drop all kinds of stuff and they don't break. I love those things. Oh, we'll be hooked up with this. Oh, this is my cell phone. Battery put on this one? Oh, better get ourselves some more juice. Yeah, that shouldn't look like that. Who accepts this stuff at the end of the day? Who is accepting this stuff? That's the way it's supposed to look. Yeah, okay. I'm pretty sure when Optima designed the P2 projector, their intentions was not to have their machine look like that. If that was the case, they wouldn't make any money. Any freaking showroom that they went into to actually display that screen, nobody in their right mind would touch it with a 10-foot pole. That is really washed out. Let's see what we have here. Battery packs. 5 or 6. Oh, I got the next one. We got battery packs. Excuse me. Thank you. Gee whiz. Got to charge some of these pack units in here. Got one in here, it's working. Got to charge my phone. 19% good. And I got to charge my unit over here. Perfect. Taco! Last time I tell you, away from the cable. You lay in the middle of the floor, lay where you want, not under my desk. I'm about to custom build me something here to keep Joker from under my desk. I don't know what's his obsession with under my desk and my cables and wires. Go, getting yourself in trouble. I don't mind you being in here. You can't be pulling out cables and wires. It's not your toys. You have tons of toys I buy. Go play with your toys. You got a train set coming in pretty soon. There. Set up this screen today on the tripod. I'm going to bring this one out today for the tripod design. I got my clamps in here too. So I've been putting my stuff back. I like a junky, cluttered environment. Drives me a little crazy. I like to keep my environment nice and clean. So if I'm in here getting this done, just don't like to be in this chunky environment. Can't stand it. That's better, much better, much better. I'm going to use that screen today. Definitely going to use that one today. Got to find my stand, my clamps. I'm going to play around with that. So, We're testing out some rear technology today, and I'm going to be setting up my stand for that. I got a chance to take my Surface behind me. A friend of mine who lives up here has a big garage, and he's been letting me use his garage to do some spray applications in, because I'm not doing it here. I told you from the door. But anyway, so he's been allowing me to use his garage to do some spray applications. I was there a couple days ago. Has a 2-car garage, and I was like, can you rent one of those out to me? And he said, nope. He said, you can do spray jobs right here. Just wanted a screen. So I customized my 150-inch. He's got it set up, and I'm using his garage for free. I love my people, I tell you at the end of the day. So I got a chance to add some new coatings to that one over there. Now, this will work for the time being until I get my storefronts, which I can't wait. I'm so happy about that, the storefronts. Because if we can show off our technology on a whole nother level, man, that's going to be beautiful. I'll get 10 times, I've said pretty much not 10 times, a million times more exposure with a storefront than online. Trust me, I love online. I do. But nothing beats having people walk in and see your technology. Word of mouth is the best advertisement. All right. Let's get this doo-ha over here done. Doo-ha! You know, Thelma had her own show. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. Now, people were asking me about these projectors we use in our demonstrations. These are very affordable machines. You don't spend all this money. Go out and spend all this money for 4K, and it still looks like crap on some of these screens. You got to spend all that money. You're doing too much. Doing way too much. Too much. Save some money, get a projector with a high and much better lumen count at that. You don't have to spend money for 4K. People think you have to spend money for 4K because they tell you how to spend the money for it. Because again, this is how you're going to advance your picture quality. Well, guess what? It comes along with that too. They don't tell you. You have to spend the money for a very expensive screen to get those colors and all that to off your projector. Because if not, you're going to be stuck with that. That's what's going to happen to your 4K projector. So you have to spend the money for the screen. So hand in hand. And then when people go in and they find out what screens they have to pay for, then they go, oh, what the freak did I just pay for at the end of the day? Yeah, some people want to back out of it altogether. I've seen people back out. They don't know about our technology at the end of the day. They will back out, sell the screen, sell the projector, whatever, and then go buy a TV because it's cheaper. It's much cheaper to buy a TV. If they're not buying OLED, it's much cheaper. You can get a TV for way, way cheaper than you'll spend for OLED. And at the end of the day, that TV's still going to pick up a contrast level. The only difference is OLED just picks up a blacker level, that's all. Picks up a much darker level, but it's still going to pick up a black level. Either one of these monitors can see black contrast. So, OLED's not a must to have. And any one of these monitors will pick up a contrast level better than a gray screen. But gray screens were not meant for 4K projectors. Let's see. LG 4K demonstration. Oh, she's such a jerk sometimes, I swear. I hate freaking artificial intelligence. I hope she hears this still. Unfreaking believable. They work when they want to work. Unbelievable. Oops, sorry about that. I've seen people incorporate this nonsense into their homes. Like, why would you do this? Well, this is better than the Dragon communication headsets when they first came out, because you were sounding like freaking like Microsoft Word when you're talking through one of those things. People know whether or not you were having a conversation or you were in the next room having a stroke. They were that bad. They were actually literally that bad. You had to talk like a robot. Because you just couldn't read the words. You had to read real slow. I am going to the store. Yeah, it was a mess. I hated those things. All right, let's get some sound over here, because we need some sound popping over here. What about you sound? Do we need it? Do we actually need it? Honestly, no. We really don't. We're just doing a little short demonstration. I'm probably going to play around with the scope on the other screen later on today. All right, let's see if she plays nicely today. Or she's going to be quite rude. We got some 1920s old-fashioned piano playing in the next room. That's what I'm talking about. I'm listening to that today. I listen to all kinds of strange music. LG Demonstrations 4K. Perfect. We got it right here. Let me bring you guys around. That's how it's supposed to look. Now, we know we get those individuals say, but you're on a 4,300 lumens won't pick up on your gray screen paint product. It can't see it. You're at 3,000 lumens, less than a foot from your screen, and it doesn't pick up. What do you think 43 will do to your screen? And I can pull this thing back 11 feet. You don't register. We got way too much light in the environment for a gray screen to pick up. Heck, my entire wall is gray. As I said before, those people that want to challenge the gray wall, let me know. I will buy your product. I will stick you against my wall. That's going to be extremely embarrassing. You really don't want that at the end of the day. But if you're willing to take that road, I'll take it with you. I'll give you the money. I'll buy your product, and I'll stick you against the big gray wall. But this is what it's supposed to look like. I wanted $200. It's about $300 at the time. Now they're $200. They were when I paid for them, $300. So my Sony VPO FH30. We don't have sound because I don't get the sound to it. Look at my cat. Look at my cat. My cat constantly just sits there and watches screens. This is when you have a projector cat. Projector cat. Anytime I set up, he's right there watching. See how beautiful the colors are? That's how it's supposed to look. You're not supposed to be calibrating. Anytime somebody tells you to calibrate a projector, that's the first red flag right there. This screen can't pick up color. Now, you see how red? Let's go back here a minute. Let's go back here. Come on, Fire Stick. Don't be a jerk today. Now, you see that red? See how bright and beautiful it is? That's what it's supposed to look like. It's not supposed to be washed out. Now let's look at this one, a 4K laser projector. Let's bring this up a little bit for you. Let's go back a little bit here when the girl was sitting there. Let me find it just there. Here we go. You know how red that shirt's supposed to be? This is why you guys don't need to be in business. You don't, well, one's not in business, but you don't need to be selling jack at the end of the day. You don't have any proper testing. Where are your tests? I can't find anything. I literally can't find nothing. There we go. Now look at that right there. Look how washed out that looks. That's supposed to be red. This is why when I get on camera and people think, oh, you're just being rude, you're just being mean. No, I'm telling you the truth. You're not seeing colors the way you're supposed to be seeing colors. Your colors are not there. Even in the dark, your colors are still not even coming up. We can see this. I've done this for too long, for so many years. My eyes are honed into seeing certain things. There is no way in the world a projector that caliber should be pulling up and a red that bland, that washed out. It's a laser 4K projector. That's 1080p projector right there. An old model projector. That's my Sony right there. You mean to tell me that a $300, now $200 eBay projector is picking up a better color than that? You know why? Because of the technology that's doing it. That's why. Need I say any more? You see that same washed out color you see there? Washed out color you see here. See, people, this is why I tried to explain to you at the end of the day that on our end, we are the experts. I can mimic his demonstration easily. On the same screen right there, my wall will do the exact same thing, or wash out the exact same way. I was here long before these guys ever existed. I have more experience. I can look at a screen and tell, oh, that's washed out. That wall behind me is picking up the exact same bland, washed out image as that teddy bear or elephant or wherever that is right there sitting in that corner. Now, the reason why these individuals tried to claim that our products come up so dark and unwatchable because, again, you are afraid. You are. You're afraid. You're terrified. You're afraid. Because you know that the future is our technology. And you get on camera, you lie, you manipulate, and you rob your customers to make them believe that that product sitting right there basically is going to be the best performance from the projector when there isn't. I feel sorry. I'm not making fun of the fellow who basically has a 200 screen. I feel sorry for him. I actually watched the demonstration, took the time to watch the demonstration where he built that place. He built that whole setup. An amazing job. I feel sorry for him that he got cheated on a product that didn't work. That someone lied to him and told him that that product was going to work in a fully lit environment. Somebody told him something wrong. Why in the world would he have a screen of that caliber right next to those big old windows? Somebody must have told him that he could basically walk in and out of his patio and into his I guess I call it the lounge. That's what I call them, a lounge area, and he could pull that screen up with no problem. Your screen is washing out just like the customer's screen is washing out. See the disappointment on his face? Oh, we catch those in and out of the videos. That's the disappointment on his face that he is messed up big time. And instead of you being respectful enough to go in and remove this video, remove these products off your website so no more of your customers get caught up in this shenanigan nonsense, you leave them on there. So your customers can continue, new ones who don't know can get robbed. And this is the reason why you hate it when we do these demonstrations, because you get exposed for what you do, Jamie. But don't worry, all the dirt that you've been doing down through time will be catching up to you real soon. I guarantee you that 100%. You have my word. Your day is coming really quick. And there's no way you can get out of it. No way. So for those of you who understand about that one, it's just a fellow Jamie Fernando Gonzalez will be going to court for very, very serious copyright infringement charges are being placed against him. And also, too, on top of that, there are some very serious criminal charges also along the way for some very disturbing emails that were sent to our accounts that were traced right back to him. So he's looking at doing some time, and he's also looking at paying some fines. All right, well, with that being said, now we're going to do a little bit more because I want to see more of this. We got the same video behind us so we can show you what you are supposed to be seeing. This is a shame right here. This is just completely horrible. Should never look this way. This is all washed out. Look at that. Look how that is horrible. This is there's no color. There's no color at all. That is Ash City. They call it Ash City. Come back in here. See how bright and beautiful the colors are on the foosball table? Foosball. I'm saying that right? Foosball table? Yeah. Now, let's come over here and let's see what it looks like over here. And mind you, you're on ultra short throw, Jamie. You're right up on top of the screen, which means the distance throw doesn't no longer exist. At 4,300 lumens, you would wash out on any projector. Any projector we have in here is going to wash out automatically. It doesn't pick up. This is right around the time he gets up. Oh, here we go. And it'll come back with a bunch of boxes. Now you look at the foosball table. There's supposed to be a shine. This is why they do these demonstrations. You're supposed to see the shine coming off the plastic figures. This is supposed to be bright green. This is supposed to be solid black. I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. There you go. See the bright green? See the shine coming off the shoulders? Now you see on the bottom of the screen where that shine is going, that bright red, candy apple red is going. There you go. Oh, I might just add this in here. 4K projectors don't work on your products at all, period. And you got to stop telling people that. Go to any forum site. You don't believe me at the end of the day? Knock yourself out, do the research. Go to any forum site and go ask them, hey, I got a 4K projector. What's the best color screen to put that on? They're going to tell you gunmetal or black. That's what they're going to tell you. That's what's going to pop up. No one's going to sit there and tell you, oh, just on a light gray screen or a white screen. No one is going to tell you that at all, period. And the sad thing about it is when people buy those, they buy those 4K projectors and they really read all of the bells and whistles. I had the same thing. I did the same thing myself. And thank you, MS500 did the same thing, which I want to buy that projector again. It's my first projector. But anyway, I told the same lie to myself that all those colors and the contrast and what I've seen and the pictures and the advertisement, I was going to get that on my wall. I literally believed that. I had a white wall when I first hit it, and it was a lie. I didn't see any of that at all. I didn't see the contrast, I didn't see the color. And when I turned the lights on, the screen just washed shadow on me. It wasn't even there. It wasn't like my friend's Grey Wolf go over there and he's watching Gears of War. You can watch all the red blood push through the screen and the dark levels. I'm like, what the freak? What the heck is going on here? I had a better projector than him. I'm like, what the freak? And I find out that, hey, it's your screen that's the problem. So that was, I learned about the great lie, which when you believe that all those bells and whistles you have, it's going to basically, the wall is going to, it's going to transfer it onto the wall. There's actually a person on YouTube that did that demonstration. He took the P2, took it out of the box and stuck it right against the wall. Guess what? Washed right on out. It was gone. Wasn't even there anymore. 2:1 contrast, not even existing. So, yeah, you have to have a good screen. So, if our technology wasn't there, then you'll be coughing up gunmetal money. At the end of the day, that's where you'll have to go to. If you say I'll make a darker product, well, good luck on that, because keep in mind, your white levels will suffer dramatically if you don't do it right. Which means you'll end up with a very dark, dirty screen. And some people really don't want to go through that making the product themselves. They'd rather just buy it and be done with it. So if we weren't there, you'd be coughing up $3,000, $5,000 for gunmetal money. And that's only for a 100 inch. We're not talking about 120, 150, and you're talking about some serious money here. You got about 15, 20 grand laying around, you can have one. You want a 180 inch screen? Yeah, screens cost money at the end of the day. I'm sorry, but if you don't believe me, do your research and find out for yourself. So this is him blocking the screen, again, to make sure you don't see the image. Why of all places are you going to show off these items right where the screen's sitting at? Why would you even have it right here? Why would you have it right here, right there? Gee whiz. Where'd that bookcase go? That bookcase is so washed out. All right, look at the bookcase there. Gee whiz, Forrester, can you like stay to the freaking whatchamacallit for like 5 minutes, please? There we go. Now you see the color of that bookcase? You see how washed out it is? This is what it's supposed to look like. You see how bright red the bookcase is in our demonstration? See how you can see the reflection? It's supposed to be reflection coming off the bookcase. It's a high glossy red. So it's designed to have reflection, so it shows up real nice on the camera. Do you see the bottom half, the gray product? Do you see how that's coming up? It's reacting the same way as the screen paint. That's why if I take network grade 773, and keep in mind, Jamie, we don't have to buy your product. All I got to do is just pop over to Home Depot. Sorry, is it Home Depot episode network grade? No, I'm sorry. Sherwin-Williams. Pop over to Sherwin-Williams and just get network grade 773. It does the exact same thing as your product. So if that matches that wall, guess what else will match your wall? That Cinemax and the Metallica mix and the personal mix, because we did the test on all of those in the demonstration, which you've only done the demonstration on the Cinemax, you skipped the rest of them. I'm curious, I want to see what the hybrid mix looks like. I want to see the hybrid mix, the Cinemax, next to network grade 773. I want to see that demonstration. Look at the cookies. Look how washed out the cookies look. As a matter of fact, let's go over here for a minute. Gotta make better products, man. Trying to find Christmas music. I'm gonna let that sucker play. All right, here we go. Now, you see the plate of cookies right there? You see that table behind it? It's supposed to be bright green. Again, this is a demonstration for this projector. It's a 4K laser projector. Should look a lot better than that. That's how it's supposed to look. Missing a heck of a lot of colors in there for that projector. Doesn't that projector supposed to have 1 billion something colors attached to it? This is why you're told at the end of the day, hey, you know what? If you want your colors to come out correctly, you're going to have to calibrate. No, anybody who sits there and tells you at the end of the day that you got to calibrate a projector, especially of that magnitude, the screen doesn't work. The screen paint doesn't work. Why are you calibrating? Or you have to be in an ambient-like controlled environment. Yeah. Now let's go pop over to the white levels. And if you notice, the environment got much darker, eh? Much, much darker. Because before you could see his face, now you can't see his face because he darkened the environment. This is a bad idea, an extremely bad idea to be in on this paint right here on network grade 773. You know why? Because the network grade 773 is brighter. It's a whiter surface, which means it's going to pick up a much higher white level. Perfect example. I'll show you why. See? It's much white. That's the interesting thing about network grade 773. It's much lighter than its product, but yet it's able to blend into its contrast levels. It was able to blend into color with no problem whatsoever. You put this on a white surface, on a snow level, this thing will beat the living brakes off. It'll beat the brakes off because, again, it's a lighter screen. It's going to generate a higher white level. But she found out the hard way. Boy, I'm telling you, man, talk about going headfirst into a truck on foot. Oh, the color levels. Gee whiz, I forgot about this. This is absolutely insane right here. Look at this, man. Now, in the environment, you can see it's much, much darker. Because before you can make out his hoodie. You can't make out his hoodie now. So this product is lighter than his, but yet it's maintaining his color level with no problem. And even though he tries to drop the projector on eco mode, it doesn't make a difference. You do know that screen's sitting in there with your screen along with it. So if you drop it to eco mode, that means that screen is still picking up at eco mode. And the whole entire time you're watching this, guess what? This image is washed out, completely washed out. I showed you what happens in the background, so you get an idea. That's all washed out. It's not even doing a proper color. Because he had to calibrate his projector. That's why. That's all washed out. Now, again, if he's angry or his reaction today is to get upset and angry and scream and yell, what do you get upset about? It's not your video. Is it not you in the video? Did you not make this video? What was the purpose of you making this video? To prove that your product didn't match network grade 773, correct? Then what are you mad about? Why are you so upset? Danny, why are you upset? Why are you so angry? Your product clearly showed half of it was water. You can't even answer any of the questions I asked you at the end of the day. None of them at all, period. Why does your product have two gains attached to it? No screen has two gains attached to it. What's the purpose of that altogether? And on top of that, anyone can go to your site. It's open unless you decide to close the entire site down, but you can't do that because that'd be too embarrassing. You have to keep it open and pay on a site that you can't make money off of just to save face. But when it comes down to it, anyone can go in there and look at the videos, and they have been going into your site looking at the videos. 1 minute you say one thing, 1 minute you say it's not. Comes in 4 colors, it doesn't come in 4 colors. Doesn't come in 480 containers, it doesn't. You don't know what you're doing at the end of the day. You're just messing it up as you go along. Anyone can go in there and hit that button and hit them back buttons and see exactly if you own the image or not. I sat there and said in multiple demonstrations, anytime we design a product or anytime we design labels, they are dummies. Sat there and told you right from the door. They want to come in all new, like, wait a minute, what about this label? Gee whiz, and anybody, did he get the memo? That's what you sound like, somebody who comes into a party late or a business meeting late and starts talking about stuff that they talked about last week. Like, gee whiz, man, Jenkins, did you get the freaking memo? I sat there and said it right there on camera. As a matter of fact, when the Black Series was being designed, it's labeled. No one knew what they looked like. There's a bunch of dummy labels out there. No one knew what the actual label looked like until we showed off the copyrights for the technology. There's our copyrights right there. Under the product right there. And I told you at the end of the day that you would see the label when we show you the copyrights. Just like the Sugar Plum Fairies, those are not the real labels. You have any idea what those labels look like? We have a graphic designer coming in to design those labels for that particular container. No one knows what they look like. That's a dumb label. The label that we have, he said that's under the new technology on the black, professional black. Those are dummy labels. They're not the real labels. I sat there right on camera and said it and go back and show you. And you guys are so slow. You come to the party like, oh, guess what? Yeah, that's old news. We've been there and done that. You kind of remind me of people who come to the party and they talk about this, that, and the other. Like, man, that was so past last year, man. Come on, man. We've been under a rock. You guys have been under rocks. Look at that. Look at the match on that. I don't know what's more frightening, the fact that the box that's brown that's matching or the network gray is matching. That's a brown box at the bottom of the screen. So Jamie preaches a lot about white levels, white levels, white levels. First things first, you don't know jack about white levels. If you're talking about white levels are supposed to be more superior, then it would be a white screen that would have that capability, not you, because you would never be to pick up a white level next to a white screen, unless you're making that claim too, and that's a lie. As a matter of fact, silver screens actually pick up a much higher white level than a gray screen any day. Only problem with the silver screen is the silver screen has the higher the white level, the harder it's going to be to maintain contrast, and if you can't see contrast, you can't see color. The network gray is a little different. It has an interesting tone attached to it. Now, even though it can't pick up 100% contrast level, but man, next to some of these screen paint products out here, it's a nightmare. And did the 2.0 match it? No, we have our test demonstrations posted, sorry, posted directly to the website. Where are your test demonstrations at? Man, okay. When it comes to white levels, the network gray 773 is going to be superior in that category because it's a much lighter screen, which he's realizing right now. Boy, I'm telling you, I would pay anything to go into your head at that particular time and see why your brain was racing at 100 miles an hour. It's like trying to watch somebody run an entire restaurant by himself. Dishwasher, front assistant chef, head chef, and the waiters, the busboy, just watching somebody try to do the job. Your mind must have been racing at 100 miles an hour in that demonstration. Well, I see what you were trying. You were trying to beat the screen, but we told you it was going to happen. You sat there and made this comment where you said, yeah, one thing I can say about the product, it makes a good primer. You literally just called your paint a primer if you matched that product. Now, this is a fantastic example to why customers need to ask for tests before you buy products from people at the end of the day. You need to see test results on their site. This is very important. This is also too a lesson to those of you that are trying to make screen or going to make screen paint products. Don't do what this individual just did. You'll be on YouTube, you'll be embarrassed. And this guy went all out. He showed receipts and everything. Constantly look, leaning his body into the screen to cover it as much as you possibly can. Ain't nothing you could do, buddy. When people have already seen enough. I don't know what you think you're going to be trying to hide, basically by leaning your body into the screen. But you shouldn't be anywhere in this section at all. It's supposed to be right over here. That's where you're supposed to be at, or behind the projector. This is where I show you in the demonstration that the screen is actually lighter than the screen, but it's actually blending into all its colors. So he changes to eco mode. So he changes to eco mode, gets up in front of the camera again. Gee whiz, man. Seriously? Stop getting up in front of the screen. I feel like, why is he keep? Because he's trying to hide the screen as much as possible. I ain't going too well. Boy, that is not. Now, see, put the projector in eco mode. Doesn't help you, because that screen also, too, now is in eco mode. Just because you put your projector in eco mode, guess what? This is hit with eco mode, too. And that screen is doing the same thing your screen is doing in eco mode. Didn't realize that one, did you? Oh, man, they were in the forum site. They analyzed the daylights out of this video, man. They pulled things out of the video I didn't even see. Every time you watch this demonstration, you will see things in there he tries to hide. So he put the projector in eco mode. That don't mean jack. Guess what? There's a screen leaning against your screen. It's house paint. It actually also matched your screen in eco mode. That didn't go too well, did it? And this is a product he's still selling on his website for $95. How about the people who saw this demonstration, who had that product, who recently bought that product? Did you return any of that money? No, I don't think you did. That's why you have the policy on the website. If you open it, it's yours. There's no exchange, nothing, if you open it. I walked in front of the screen again. Gee, we'll sit down, for goodness sakes. I'm standing in front of the screen. Constantly getting up, constantly standing up in front of the screen. And you can look in his eyes. You can see the regret. And the regret is there. Not the same person, brimming with confidence at the beginning of the video. Swore up and down he's going to beat that screen paint. We told you it wasn't going to happen. We told you that the product that we have is from the customer. It matched the screen. Turn around your product, turn around and match the screen. Constantly waving his hand in front of the camera. That's where we did it. That's what it looked like on the other end when people were watching it. Kept waving his hand in front of the camera. Look, get up again. Gee, wait, seriously? Get up, sit down, get up, sit down, get up. How many times you got to get up and sit down in the video? He literally got up again, sat down again. That's when a person is nervous, extremely nervous. He's showing all kinds of nervous patterns. Get up, sit down, get up, sit down, move back and forth. That's a person that's nervous, very, very nervous. You'll notice if you watch the screen, the more it blends to the screen, the more nervous he becomes. Now, how about you test the rest of those products? Because you only did one of them. You only did one. What about the rest of them? There's the other red flag right there. What about the rest of them? Matter of fact, we haven't even seen that microblend. Microblend slip silver? We can dig it out right now. We can go on Google and type in microblend slip silver and put his name next to it, and nothing will come up because he never did the test. You don't want to match that stuff at the end of the day, because that stuff, you end up matching that, that is an $18 a quart product that you can order off Amazon. But the thing about, look, you're walking out of the room. Why in the middle of the freaking demonstration, just walking right on out the room? Gee whiz, really? What you need to be in there for? The demonstration's in there. Oh, right there. Perfect example. So let me go back here for a minute so you can see this real quick. Yeah, because he had enough of this. It's pretty much, yeah, he couldn't deal with that anymore. Like, I got to get out of this room. I think we lost that section in there. Doesn't make a difference. Walked out, you just don't walk out of the room. Literally just got up, grabbed the camera, and just walked right out of the room. Why are you walking out of the room? You're in the middle of a demonstration. You can't do that. All right, let's talk about, when we come back in, does Jamie's products work on 4K projectors? No, they do not work on 4K projectors. Let's see. I bet you probably urged that customer. Oh, there it is, still there. Good, it's still there. This is a customer with a 4K projector. Didn't work. Any demonstrations I've seen on 4K projectors involving this product are done in really dark environments. You can't have that in a world environment. And mind you, his environment wasn't even that dark compared to this customer, and his screen still washed out badly, extremely badly. Long story short, gentlemen. Well, Danny, we don't have to worry about you because you can't sell product either way, period. You're done. But as for you, Jamie, you shouldn't be selling Jack. Your product is a joke. It is. That's a customer right there, by the way, if you don't know. This is a customer with Jamie's personal mix right here. And these are his results for using his product on a 4K projector. There's your model number of your projector right there. And look it up for yourself. That's a 4K projector. And you will notice that, look at the screen quality. That is absolutely horrible. You can't even make out what's going on over here. This is completely gone. Mind you, he only has the two windows open, or two areas open. He doesn't have that pulled all the way back. If he pulled this section all the way back, that screen would go ghost. It would definitely disappear. And he came in the room ranting like, show the whole video. We did show the whole video. We literally showed the difference between the screen being in the dark, this is what it looks like, and then if he opens up any curtains in the environment, the screen automatically goes dark. So what the freak is that going on there? Because I'm pretty sure when he did this setup to begin with, his thoughts weren't to be in the dark when he did this setup. If that was the case, he would have covered up these two windows right here. That wasn't his intention to cover up this section right here. His intention was to have an open area we can go out there, get a nice little backyard out there, and he can walk in, he can see this giant screen right here, and they can sit down and watch the game or be outside. That's what his intentions were. But you misinformed them. You gave him false information because it didn't pull up. So Jamie came in the room with a fake account named Jack and tried to say, show the whole video. So I guess showing the video where the environment's dark, this is where it's somewhat working because your screen's still washed out in the dark. We've had tested before. So what happens if he turns the lights on? What happens if he opens up that window? Then what? And then he's inside with a spotlight And this is what happens with the screen. It's not ambient light rejection. Even you have it on your website clearly stating your products are not ambient light rejection, but you give off misinformation by trying to make your products look like that they are ambient light rejection, and they're not. That's your fault. You told them something. There's no way in the world that screen should have washed out that bad. All right, let's come back in. We're going to talk about and he said something about in one of the chats. He said something about you're just going back and forth. Yeah, I'm going back and forth on both of y'all. One, you shouldn't be selling products. Danny's out there talking about how his products are so great and he can't even open up his website to sell a product. How does that even work at the end of the day? How do you even call yourself a professional? Talk all that nonsense on camera, sounding like a poor version of a Star Trek novel. And you're making all these scientific, it's supposed to be interactive bubbles and all this other nonsense. You're lying on top of lying, and products are filled with half water. You got two different versions of gain. The specification sheets don't make any sense. Half the pictures you guys don't even own are yours at the end of the day. And you're going to turn around and talk about how your products are so good for the customers. You guys are the worst scam artists I've ever seen in my entire life. Then when we request for tests, you don't have any. We ask you to back up your products. You can't do it at the end of the day. And then you got results to this like this at the end of the day. You got customers that are inside and can't pick up at 4K. That's pretty bad. I can see if he had a knockoff projector. All right, now it's going to happen. And again, that's going to happen. The lumen count always not going to pick up. But he's on a 4K projector. He's on an Optima. He's 3,500 lumens with a 500,000 contrast. He can't see the screen. And that's inside with the lights on. So you must have told him something that he can use that screen in a fully lit environment, because I'm pretty sure when he took the time to build that entire setup in there, his intentions was to be able to transfer back and forth or in and out in order to have the windows open and use that in a fully lit environment. If not, he would have covered those windows up. If that was the case. If a company had told him, look, this product we have here, it only works well in the dark, you can't have any light hitting it, it's going to wash out. Do you think he would have those windows open? No, he wouldn't. He would have shut those windows a long time ago. He would have some blackout curtains across it to knock all that light out, and he did the entire demonstration. He would have never attempted to open up the windows because he knew the consequences of his screen washing out because they told him not to do it. You must have told him that he could do this. That's the reason why he opened up those curtains. Misinformation. Tell people anything. In the middle of a transaction, that tells me at the end of the day, at the middle of a transaction, when you're grabbing someone's money, that you would tell them anything to make a buck. Because there's no other reason why he would sit there and open those curtains up unless he was told he could do so. That's like me telling people, hey, look, we got technology. I keep forgetting it can take a direct hit from sunlight. But the technology we have now cannot do this. It doesn't have that capability. So if I get on camera and says, hey, yeah, this paint we got behind here can take a direct hit from sunlight, guess what the customer is going to do? He's going to take that paint outside. He's going to hit it with the direct sunlight because we told him he could do it. If I'm doing a transaction with somebody and says, hey, look, I want to take this outside and needs to hit direct sunlight. And I say, oh, sure, you can do that with no problem. Guess what he's going to do? He's going to go outside. He's going to stick it in direct sunlight, which means in order for him to do that, someone would have to inform him he could do it. You informed this guy when you were taking his money that he could take this screen out here and open up his curtains. Because if not, when he built this whole entire section right here, he would have made sure he had blackout curtains to keep any light from making contact with the screen that would wash it out. You lied to him. That's what you did. That's what it clearly shows. This is why you got to stop doing those demonstrations where you're comparing yourself to ambient light rejection technology. Stop showing open doors and windows and trying to tell people that they can see things in a fully lit environment. Heck, you can't even see in a fully lit environment. Your screen clearly washed out. Look how dark this environment is compared to how this environment right here. And this environment is still, at the end of the day, still dark because you got the lights that are illuminating around the back of your screen. If your environment was really well lit, this wouldn't be to fire off. It wouldn't even exist. So with this little bit of light, he has a long throw, by the way. You have an ultra short throw. your distance stroke isn't there. That's why I explained to people. So you should pick up a much more brighter, more vivid image because you're closer to the screen than he is. And the fact that your laser projector couldn't even pick up a proper color red or proper contrast. Your red in your hoodie is redder here, and the black in your hat is blacker than your woman's hair up here. The fact that you couldn't pick up on that projector, which is far better than his, clearly speaks volumes. Stop peddling this fake paint at the end of the day. Make something real at the end of the day. Have some test demonstrations under your products. This stuff is all fake. Sad thing about it is the same thing with network, same thing with a bare silver screen. Sad thing about this is people that, at least with Partey, which I can't call him Partey, I forgot he doesn't own the rights to that name. At least with Danny, his site is not open. So he can't cheat people at the end of the day. Because again, people saw the water paints, thought to themselves, out of $160, how much paint are you getting for $160? From what we've seen when he slid the container over, it's half water, half paint. And his theory for why he needs that water in there, it acts as a delivery system to keep the paint from evaporating. That I would really like to try. And I'm not the only one who wants to try. There's a bunch of other people who want to get their hands on that paint because they want to try this too. Drain all the water out of it, seal it up in a container, stick it in a corner, come back the next day and see if this thing turns into baby powder or it's just not in the can at all, period. I would love to see this. So, unfortunately, let's see what happens. Let's see if he opens up the site. We gave him a challenge for the month of March, and he can open up his site for 1 freaking month. And that excuse you gave that, oh, you're really busy, you don't have time, this, that, and so and so and so. What was the excuse? You have certain days. We've been on your site every single day for a solid month, and your site's still not even open up. You do know how the websites work, right? They can run 24/7. It's your processing time and when you ship out that. As a matter of fact, I got to be at the post office today, but your processing time. So you can have orders hit your account. That's no problem. As long as you have a detailed specification of detailed shipping information on your site that tells when you ship it out, this, that, and the other, if it's delayed, so and so, you have all the information on your site. That way the customer gets a full understanding of what they're ordering and when the order is going to get there. You don't have that policy either. That's not even on your site. All you have on your site is basically how to take from your customers. So your website, Danny Boy, that's why I'm getting mixed up. Your website, Danny Boy, can be opened up 24/7. It's just the time when you process the orders. If you say Wednesday and Thursday, then guess what? You can get 40,000 orders in on your site. You just process them on Wednesday and Thursday. And as long as you have that posted, which you do have posted on your site, saying when you do process these orders, then your site can be open 24/7. That's no excuse. You can't open your site. You can't make sure no one can go in there and buy the product due to the fact that, again, you're scared because people are going to test all that bull crap you talked about on camera and find out it's nothing but nonsense. It's nonsense anyway, but they're going to find out it's nonsense. And one of the first tests they're going to run on that product is they're going to drain your can. They're going to take all that water out of it. You're going to seal it up and they're going to stick it in a corner and come back and see if it evaporates. As you claim, that's why the water is in there. Now, this is my theory, Danny, why the water is in there. The water is in there because you thinned out your product to make it seem like it's a skin-like coating. You repeat over and over again by saying that it's not a paint. It's a thin-like coating. No, it's a paint with water in it. It's the reason why you have to make multiple passes because you have weakened the product so bad with so much water that it doesn't take the first, second, and third time. That's why you're making multiple passes. Your product is nothing but black and white paint with a whole lot of water in it. It's not a paint, it's a skin-like coating. No, it's a paint with a lot of water in it. And the reason why when the customer gets it, he's going to say, gee whiz, what did I pay for? $160 and half of this is water. And you're going to go, well, the water is there because it acts as a delivery system. Without the water, the product is going to dry out and evaporate and you'll have nothing instead of what you have there right now. I guarantee I'm calling your bluff. When you finally open up that website, my people will come in and buy. And when we do buy, I will have your product here. And I will pop your lid, drain your water out of your container, and I will stick that in a corner. Heck, to show you how crazy I'll be at the end of the day, I'll buy myself another cell phone, and I'll stick it on a live feed, and I'll stick that in front of that container, and I'll leave it there. It'll be the longest video ever, but I guarantee at the end of the day, it'll show that we didn't tamper with it and didn't touch it. You want to go down that road with me? I told you I'll test your product. You come on camera, you come on here, YouTube, and y'all talk all that nonsense. I will test you at the end of the day. So yeah, I'll go buy myself another camera. I'll hook it up with my Wi-Fi. I'll stick it on a tripod and I'll stick it there, and people can watch it 24 hours, how long it takes, a day or two, whatever, and they can watch it. Hook it up to a charger so it runs, and you come there and you can watch that can. And you'll notice that can will never move. It'll stay in that same spot. That way we can't be accused of opening up the container, pouring out the paint, and putting powder in or whatever, or just removing it and cleaning out the can. I'll stick that right there. You've known people at the end of the day for doing crazy demonstrations. This will be a fun one. So, you want to call my bluff on that one? I'm calling your bluff. I think your product is fake. I think it's phony, and I think it's nothing but water in it. It's just a watercolor product. It's no thin light coating. It's nothing different. It is house paint, and it will not evaporate or disappear if I remove all the water out of it. I'm willing to go out and buy me a cell phone, stick it right in front of your can, put it on a feed for how long we got to put it on there for live stream, 2 days, 3 days, whatever, and then we'll come in and we'll pop that can, and I guarantee that paint will still be in there and it won't even be dry. I guarantee you. Call me on it. Till then, try to keep your site open. But before we can do that, we need to get the product. And him knowing this, that I'm going to do this, he ain't opening that site. That site is going to be locked down. I'd be surprised if it's there next year. He might even remove it. Don't make accusations. Jamie, now, let's get back to you real quick. You need to test the rest of your products. We already know that the bare silver screen matches the personal mix. We know that the network gray 7073 also matches your product over here with Cinemax. Question is, how much of your paint matches house paint? So, slip silver, network gray, and bare silver screen. You wouldn't mind doing a demonstration today against the Cinemax, against the hybrid mix, the personal mix, the Metallica mix, and putting all those against those products and showing a demonstration today. I'm not going to go in and check, and the reason why, because you won't do it. I'm calling you out. You won't do it at all, period. This is why, proving why you guys shouldn't be in the industry at all. Okay, that's basically about it. I'm done. I got things I got to do today. Oh, I forgot. We got to talk about this 4K thing. That'll be short and sweet. We're not going to go long into that one. We only got to show up like 2 different screens. The screen doesn't work on 4K. Stop telling people that your products work on 4K, because they don't work on 4K. Customer right there, he doesn't even work on 4K. Poor dude. I'm not hating on the customer. I feel sorry for the customer, because like I said, I went in and I watched his video on how he built that whole setup, and he did an extremely good job. Very nice installment. Put the lights in and everything, fantastic. Nice system he has in there. I like what he has in there. I just feel bad for him because this guy lied to him and told him some stupid nonsense that he can have the curtains open and he doesn't have to worry about his screen washing out. The problem is, Jamie, that you do a lot of demonstrations on ultra short throws. Ultra short throws and long throws are two different forms of projectors. They act differently. If I take the Sony and I pull it back 11 feet and I take the ultra short throw and I stick it up close, guess when it's going to pick up a much higher, brighter image? It's going to be ultra short throw, because there's no distance, which means it's going to be the key majority of this 3,000 lumens, where the 3,000 or 4,000 lumens on the long throw, it's going to lose that money because it has to travel from A to B, depending on how much light is in the environment. That's how that works. Now, if I take that long throw projector and I stick it up the same length that the ultra short throw sitting up there, then that projector right there is not going to lose any lumen count. As a matter of fact, it will be overpower the 3,000 lumens, with this being 4,000 lumens from the door. Simple and plain. So your customer has a long throw projector at 4K. It's not going to be the same as you having your 4K projector sitting right on top of the screen. This is why I disapprove of people who do demonstrations strictly on ultra short throws, because again, you're lying again. And we're probably sitting over there right now spamming my email account. Telling me, I hate him so much. Well, you got to do your work at the end of the day. Roll up your sleeves and work for a change. Stop getting in front of cameras and saying dumb nonsense all day long. Back up what you do at the end of the day, and you wind up looking like an idiot on camera. All right, that's pretty much it, people. I do this demonstration not only to out these individuals, but I don't want people at the end of the day to end up like that poor customer. Because again, someone told him it was okay for him to open up his window, his curtains, and that screen wasn't going to be affected. Someone lied to him. And Jamie, you lied to him. You lied to him. I guarantee you, when you was getting that money out of him, I guarantee you lied and you told him this. He can't even use that screen unless he's sitting in the dark, and I'm pretty sure that's not his intentions. Oh man, it's a shame. All right, people, that's it. We'll come back in. Jamie can maybe, we're not even going to put in a hot mic because there's no point. He comes into the hot mic. Jamie's a 5-year-old on a hot mic. We can't bring him in here because there's multiple fake accounts he's got to come in with, and he's in their emojis and he's ranting the same thing over and over again. It's like having a conversation with a deranged circus monkey. I lie to you not. I lie to you not. Even simple and plain asking simple answers about things he has on his specification sheet, he just can't answer you back correctly. It's just a whole bunch of, it's a circus dance. So, yeah. All right, we got to come back in real quick and talk about this whole 4K fiasco, about why Jamie's screen paints are bad for 4K. Jamie, anytime you want, you can take that 2,000,000:1 contrast that you have on that projector and put that in a fully lit environment and show us that you can basically pull a contrast level equal to a black sheet of paper. And you can do that today? Man, it's not going to happen. All right, we'll be back in. Short and sweet. I got to go to the post office in a few minutes. I got orders to drop off. Oh, and God bless people.